Maya and Sam were excited. Their first baby, little Leo, had just arrived, and the house felt alive with happiness. The walls seemed to echo with tiny sounds, soft cries, gentle coos, and the occasional squeak of a toy. Maya held Leo carefully in her arms, rocking him slowly. His tiny hands waved in the air and his little feet kicked softly. Sam was beside her, smiling. He had set up a small corner in the living room just for Leo. A colorful mat covered the floor, and a tiny crib stood near the window where sunlight streamed in. Everything looked ready for the baby, but there was another member of the family who watched everything with curious eyes. Benny, the family dog. Benny was a large brown and white dog with gentle eyes. He had lived with Maya and Sam for 4 years. He loved them both very much. Benny had never been around a baby before. At first he looked at Leo with quiet curiosity. He sniffed the baby gently, tilting his head as if trying to understand what kind of creature this tiny human was. Leo let out a tiny laugh when Benny's soft tongue touched his little toes. Maya laughed too. "He likes you already," she said softly to Leo. Sam smiled. "Benny is very gentle. I think he will be a good friend." The first night was full of small surprises. Leo cried softly, waking everyone up. Benny, who usually slept in the living room, quietly moved to the crib. He lay down at the foot of it, keeping his big eyes open, watching Leo's tiny movements. Maya whispered to Sam, "I think he understands. He knows he must protect the baby." Sam nodded, feeling the same warmth. The next morning, Benny followed Leo everywhere. When Maya tried to make breakfast, Benny sat near the mat, wagging his tail every time Leo moved. He seemed careful, as if he knew he had to watch the little one all the time. Leo was growing quickly. Each day he showed new signs of curiosity. One morning, he reached out to grab a soft toy hanging above his crib. Benny watched closely. When Leo accidentally let the toy fall to the floor, Benny nudged it gently with his nose and pushed it back toward him. Leo clapped his tiny hands and smiled. Sam came to see and could not believe his eyes. "Maya, did Benny just give him the toy back?" he asked in surprise. Maya nodded, laughing. "Yes, Benny understands more than we think." Over the next few days, the small apartment became full of laughter and soft noises. Leo started learning to roll on the floor. Each time he tried, Benny stayed nearby. Sometimes Benny would sit next to him watching, and other times he would gently nudge Leo if he rolled too far. It was as if Benny had taken a promise in his heart to keep the baby safe. One afternoon, Leo reached the edge of the carpet while trying to crawl. Maya had been folding clothes and did not notice immediately. Benny quickly stepped in, positioning himself between Leo and the floor edge. He barked softly, a warning, not a loud or frightening one. Maya looked up and noticed just in time. She rushed to pick up Leo and held him safely in her arms. "Benny," Maya said, smiling and stroking his soft fur. "You are amazing." Benny wagged his tail slowly, as if he understood he had done the right thing. Sam came over and hugged both of them. "I think Leo has the best protector ever," he said. Benny's behavior surprised everyone. He was not just a playful dog anymore. He had changed. He followed Leo from room to room, always making sure the baby was safe. Sometimes he even barked when he felt Leo might need attention. When the baby cried, Benny came running, nudging Maya or Sam as if saying, "Come quickly, something is happening." One evening, Sam decided to take a small video of Leo crawling on the mat. Benny sat near him, watching closely. Leo laughed and reached for a soft block. Benny nudged it gently with his nose, pushing it toward Leo. Sam laughed as he recorded, "If people see this, they won't believe it. Benny is so careful and smart." Maya smiled and added, "I think Benny already loves Leo as much as we do." She looked at Leo's tiny hands holding the block, and Benny sitting beside him patiently. The house felt warmer than ever. Even at night, Benny remained near the crib. He would lie at the foot of it, watching Leo breathe quietly. Sometimes he lifted his paw slightly, as if checking that Leo was safe. Maya and Sam often peeked through the door, seeing Benny in his quiet vigil. It was a simple, beautiful scene. A dog and a baby, both trusting and connected in ways that words could not describe. As days passed, Benny's care for Leo became more noticeable. He would not let the baby crawl too far alone. If Leo dropped a toy, Benny would pick it up and bring it back. If Leo cried, Benny would bark softly to alert Maya or Sam. Even the neighbors noticed the bond forming between the dog and the baby. One morning, a neighbor named Tara came over. She smiled at Leo and then looked at Benny. "He seems very careful," she said. "I have never seen a dog behave like this." Maya laughed. "We know. He has become Leo's little guardian already." Leo responded with a giggle, reaching out to touch Benny's soft fur. Benny bent his head slightly, letting Leo pat him. It was clear that the trust between them was growing every day. Maya and Sam often talked about how lucky they were. They had imagined many ways a dog and a baby might interact. But Benny's love and care went beyond what they expected. Sometimes they whispered to each other at night, "If only everyone could see what Benny does, they would understand how special he is." The days turned into weeks. Leo learned to roll, to push himself up on his hands, and to reach for toys. Benny was always there. He became a silent teacher, showing the baby that the world was safe. Every laugh, every tiny movement, every new discovery was shared with Benny nearby. One evening, as the sun set, Maya held Leo on her lap while Sam prepared dinner. Benny lay quietly by their feet, occasionally lifting his head to watch Leo. The room was full of warmth, love, and soft sounds. Maya whispered to Sam, "Look at him. He is part of our family in a way I never imagined." Sam nodded, smiling. Yes, Leo has a true friend for life. In that first month, the bond between the baby and the dog grew stronger. Benny had never been around a baby before, yet he understood his role perfectly. He was gentle, protective, and loving. Maya and Sam often wondered how a dog could know so much. Yet every day, Benny proved that love and care did not need words. As the night came, Maya placed Leo in the crib. Benny lay down at the foot, keeping his watchful eyes open. Maya and Sam whispered softly, careful not to disturb the peaceful scene. The house was quiet except for the soft breathing of baby and dog. Maya thought about the future. She knew that Leo and Benny would grow up together, learning from each other. They would share games, laughter, and even small adventures. And she knew one thing for sure. Benny would always be there, protecting and loving Leo just as he had from the very first day. Life at home had become full of joy for Maya, Sam, and little Leo. Every day brought a new discovery. Leo was growing quickly, learning to roll, grab toys, and notice the world around him. Benny, their large brown and white dog, had become more than just a pet. He was Leo's quiet protector, always watching, always careful, always near. One bright morning, the sun shone through the windows, filling the living room with golden light. Maya was sitting on the floor with Leo, helping him play with colorful soft blocks. Leo laughed and clapped his hands as he tried to stack one block on top of another. Benny sat nearby, watching every tiny movement. He tilted his head, his ears moving at every sound Leo made. Maya smiled at Benny. "You are so patient with him," she said softly. Benny wagged his tail as if he understood her words. Leo reached for a small toy duck. He grabbed it with his tiny hands and shook it gently. The duck squeaked and Leo laughed, a sound that filled the room with happiness. Then in an instant, the unexpected happened. Leo pushed the toy too hard and it rolled away across the room. It slipped under the couch. Maya leaned forward to get it, but before she could reach, Benny moved. With careful steps, Benny went under the couch. His tail wagged slowly, but his movements were gentle. He used his soft nose to push the toy back out. Then he nudged it toward Leo with the tip of his nose. Leo's eyes widened with excitement. He clapped his hands and giggled. Maya and Sam came closer, amazed. "Did he just get the toy back?" Sam asked. Maya nodded, smiling. "Yes." Benny understood what Leo wanted. He did it by himself. From that moment, something changed. Benny seemed more aware of the baby's needs. Every time Leo reached for a toy, Benny watched carefully. If the toy fell, Benny picked it up. If Leo moved too close to the edge of the carpet or a chair, Benny gently nudged him back to safety. It was not only about toys. Benny started noticing Leo's moods. When the baby cried softly, Benny would sit closer, tilting his head and making soft whines. It was his way of saying, "I am here. Everything is okay." Maya and Sam noticed that Leo often stopped crying when Benny was near. The baby's little hands would pat Benny's soft fur, and the dog would respond with a gentle nudge of his nose. One afternoon, Maya was folding baby clothes on the carpet. Leo was crawling near the small play area. Benny followed closely. Suddenly, Leo crawled too close to the stairs. His tiny hands reached the edge and he tried to pull himself up. Maya gasped, realizing how quickly this could become dangerous. Before she could reach him, Benny moved. He gently placed his body between Leo and the stairs, blocking the way. Then he barked softly, a clear warning. Sam, who had been in the kitchen, heard the bark and rushed in. Maya picked up Leo immediately. He was safe, laughing and clapping. "Benny," Maya said, stroking his soft fur. "You saved him again." Sam hugged both of them. "He is amazing," he said. Benny wagged his tail slowly, calm and proud, as if he understood the praise. That evening, Sam decided to take a video of the moment. He wanted to capture Benny's careful behavior. The video showed Benny nudging Leo back to safety, standing protectively as the baby crawled near the stairs. Sam and Maya watched it together and could not stop smiling. "If people see this, they would not believe it," Maya said. "He is more than just a dog." The days passed and Leo's confidence grew. He tried to crawl faster, reaching for new toys and exploring corners of the living room. Benny followed everywhere. He sometimes lay down in front of Leo's path, making sure the baby did not bump into furniture. Other times he gently nudged him back toward the playmat if Leo wandered too far. One morning, Maya and Sam prepared breakfast. Leo sat on the mat playing with a soft ball. Benny sat close by watching. Suddenly, Leo rolled the ball toward a small pile of blocks. The blocks scattered and the ball bounced under the coffee table. Benny moved immediately. He crawled under the table, picked up the ball carefully, and pushed it toward Leo again. Maya and Sam could hardly believe what they saw. "He is teaching him in his own way," Sam said. "Yes," Maya replied. "Benny is not just protecting him. He is helping him learn." That same week, a small visitor came. Leo's cousin Nina came to see the baby. She was 6 years old and curious. She wanted to play with Leo, but she was nervous around Benny. "He is so big," Nina said, stepping back. Benny tilted his head, wagging his tail slowly, showing he was friendly. Leo laughed at Nina, and Benny stayed close to the baby, quietly letting the girl watch. Over time, Nina learned that Benny was gentle. She watched him lift toys with his nose, nudge Leo to safety, and stay calm even when the baby cried. She said to Maya, "I have never seen a dog act like this before." Maya smiled. "We know. Benny is special." As the days went on, Benny's protective instincts became even more remarkable. One afternoon, Leo crawled toward the kitchen. Sam had left the door open slightly. Benny noticed immediately. He moved quietly but quickly, placing himself between Leo and the doorway. He barked softly to alert Sam. Sam came in and picked up Leo. "I think Benny has eyes everywhere," he said, laughing. Maya watched the scene and thought about how extraordinary Benny was. He had never been trained to protect a baby, yet he acted like a careful guardian. Every small movement, every toy, every step Leo took was noticed by Benny. Even during playtime, Benny was patient. Leo would roll on the mat, sometimes falling over or bumping into a pillow. Benny would nudge him back, making sure he did not hurt himself. If Leo dropped a toy or reached for something out of reach, Benny would fetch it. He never used his teeth roughly, only gently nudged objects with his nose or paw. Neighbors noticed too. One afternoon, Tara, their kind neighbor, came over. She looked at Leo and then at Benny. "He watches him so carefully," she said. Maya laughed. "Yes, he has become Leo's little guardian. He is always there, protecting him and even helping him learn." Maya and Sam felt proud. They had never imagined a dog could act with such intelligence and love. Benny's presence made them feel safe, knowing Leo had a friend and protector in him. As the evening came, Leo was tired. He had played all day, learning new movements and discovering new toys. Maya held him in her arms while Sam cleaned up the play area. Benny lay at their feet, his head resting on the carpet. Every so often he lifted his head to watch Leo, making sure he was comfortable and safe. Maya whispered to Sam, "Look at him. He is part of our family in a way I never imagined." Sam nodded. "Yes, Leo has a true friend for life. Benny is more than a pet. He is a guardian and a teacher." The night was calm. Leo slept in his crib, safe and peaceful. Benny lay at the foot of the crib, watching over him. Maya and Sam peeked through the door, feeling a quiet happiness that words could not describe. The bond between the baby and the dog had grown so strong in just a few days. Maya thought about the future. She knew that Leo and Benny would continue to grow together, learning from each other and sharing joyful moments. Every laugh, every tiny discovery, every playful moment would be shared with Benny nearby. She smiled, imagining the adventures they would have in the coming months. Benny had already proven that love, care, and protection could come without words. He had become a part of Leo's world in a way that no one could have predicted. Maya and Sam often whispered to each other, "If only everyone could see Benny's love, they would understand how special he is." That night, as the lights dimmed and the house grew quiet, Benny remained on watch. He lay at the foot of Leo's crib, alert but calm. The baby slept peacefully, trusting the gentle presence of his guardian. Maya and Sam went to bed, feeling grateful for the love that filled their home. In those quiet moments, it was clear to everyone that something extraordinary had happened. Benny had become more than a dog. He had become a protector, a friend, and a loving guide for little Leo. And this was only the beginning of their remarkable journey together. Life at home had settled into a gentle rhythm for Maya, Sam, little Leo, and Benny. The days were full of laughter, small discoveries, and the quiet sounds of a baby learning about the world. Benny had become more than just a pet. He was Leo's guardian, always alert and protective, ready to help at any moment. One sunny afternoon, Maya was folding laundry in the living room. Leo was on the soft mat, crawling carefully toward his colorful toys. Benny sat nearby, his big brown eyes following every movement. The dog's ears twitched at every sound, his tail wagging gently. He had learned over the past few weeks that Leo needed both love and protection. Leo reached for a soft toy, a small stuffed rabbit that bounced lightly when he shook it. He grabbed it with both hands and tried to crawl farther across the mat. His tiny hands and knees moved carefully, but he was moving faster than usual. Benny noticed immediately. He moved his body closer, positioning himself so that he could react quickly if anything went wrong. Suddenly, Leo crawled toward the edge of the carpet. Beyond it, the living room floor sloped slightly, and at the far end, the stairs led down to the hallway. Leo's small hands touched the edge of the stairs. Maya was still folding clothes and did not notice at first, but Benny knew. He stiffened, watching the baby carefully. With gentle but fast steps, Benny moved between Leo and the stairs. He placed his body firmly, blocking the baby's path. He barked softly, a warning that was not loud enough to scare Leo but loud enough to alert Sam and Maya. Sam, who had been fixing a light in the kitchen, heard the bark immediately. He rushed into the living room and saw Benny standing protectively beside Leo. Maya grabbed the baby gently, holding him close. "Thank you, Benny," she said, her voice full of relief. "You saved him again." Benny wagged his tail slowly, calm and proud. It was as if he understood that his careful actions had prevented danger. Leo looked up at Benny and giggled, patting his fur with tiny hands. The baby trusted Benny completely. After that moment, Maya and Sam realized how important Benny had become. He was not just a companion. He was a guardian. Every small movement of Leo was watched carefully. Benny stayed close when the baby learned to crawl, when he reached for toys, and when he tried to pull himself up. One afternoon, Maya and Sam decided to rearrange the living room. They moved the playmat closer to the window where the sunlight was warm and bright. Leo explored the new area with curiosity, crawling quickly from one corner to another. Benny followed closely, his body moving like a shadow. Every time Leo reached the edge of the mat or a new obstacle, Benny was there to guide him safely. Benny's behavior surprised the neighbors when they came over. Tara, the kind neighbor who often visited, watched closely. "I have never seen a dog act so carefully around a baby," she said, amazed. Maya smiled. "We know. He is extraordinary. He watches over Leo all the time." As the days passed, Benny's protective instincts became more noticeable. One afternoon, Leo was crawling near the small coffee table. He reached for a shiny toy on the floor. Just as he stretched forward, his little hand slipped slightly. Benny reacted immediately. He placed a paw gently behind Leo to stop him from falling and nudged him back toward the soft mat. Sam and Maya rushed over, but Leo was already safe. The baby laughed, reaching out to touch Benny's soft fur. "You are my hero," Maya whispered, hugging the dog. Sam nodded, smiling. Benny has learned more about caring for Leo than we ever imagined. Benny's presence was also comforting in quiet moments. When Leo was tired and tried to crawl into a corner, Benny would gently guide him back to the mat. When the baby cried softly during nap time, Benny would sit close by, letting his gentle warmth calm him. The bond between the baby and the dog grew stronger with every passing day. One morning, Sam set up a small camera to record Leo's playtime. He wanted to see how Benny behaved when no one was watching. Maya held Leo at the beginning of the video, then stepped back. Benny stayed close, watching every tiny movement of the baby. Leo rolled over, reached for a soft block, and tried to crawl toward the window. Benny moved immediately, guiding Leo safely and making sure he did not bump into anything. When Sam and Maya watched the video later, they could hardly believe their eyes. Benny acted like a careful protector, anticipating every small danger before it happened. He nudged toys back to Leo, positioned his body near the baby, and stayed calm even when Leo tried to climb on a small chair. It was clear that Benny understood the baby in a way no human could. He was patient, gentle, and loving. He had taken on the role of Leo's guardian naturally, and he never made a mistake. One afternoon, Leo discovered the back door. He crawled toward it with curiosity. The door led to the garden where the grass was green and bright. Benny noticed immediately. He ran beside Leo, positioning his body between the baby and the door. He barked softly to alert Maya, who was folding clothes in the next room. Maya rushed over and lifted Leo gently. "Thank you, Benny," she said, hugging him tightly. Sam came in and smiled. "He is amazing. Leo's lucky to have him." Benny wagged his tail, calm and proud, as if he understood the praise. Benny's behavior also helped Leo learn new things safely. The baby tried to stand up for the first time, holding on to small furniture. Benny stayed close, making sure that Leo would not fall. He would nudge pillows or toys closer to soften any bumps. Leo laughed and clapped his hands whenever Benny helped him, and Maya and Sam felt a quiet happiness that filled the entire house. Even during feeding time, Benny remained nearby. He did not interfere but stayed alert. When Leo accidentally tipped a bottle or dropped a small spoon, Benny was ready to help. He would nudge the object gently toward the baby, making the experience safe and joyful. Neighbors often commented on the special bond between Leo and Benny. Tara, who had visited many times, said, "If I did not see this with my own eyes, I would never believe it. He watches him so carefully." Maya smiled. Yes, Benny has become part of Leo's life in a way that no one could imagine. As the evening approached, Leo grew tired from the day's adventures. Maya held him in her arms while Sam cleaned up the toys. Benny lay quietly nearby, keeping watch over the baby. Every so often, he lifted his head, alert to any small movement. Leo reached out to pat him, and Benny responded gently, lowering his head to meet the baby's touch. Maya whispered softly, "Look at him. He is more than a pet. He is part of our family, and he loves Leo in his own way." Sam nodded, smiling. "He is a true friend. Leo will grow up knowing he is never alone." That night, as the house grew quiet, Benny lay at the foot of Leo's crib. The baby slept peacefully, trusting the dog's presence. Maya and Sam peeked through the door, feeling a deep sense of gratitude and joy. Benny had proven that love and care could come in many forms. He had become a protector, a guide, and a friend. Maya and Sam often reflected on how extraordinary Benny had become. He had never been trained to protect a baby, yet he anticipated danger, provided comfort, and stayed calm in every situation. Benny's gentle actions showed that love was not only in words but in careful attention, quiet support, and patient presence. In those quiet moments, it was clear to everyone that something extraordinary had happened. Benny had become more than a dog. He had become Leo's guardian, his teacher, and his first best friend. And as Leo grew, the bond between the baby and the dog would continue to deepen, filled with laughter, safety, and the quiet magic of friendship. Life in Maya and Sam's house was full of small adventures and quiet happiness. Little Leo was growing quickly. He was learning to crawl faster, grab toys, and even try to stand with support. Benny, the large brown and white dog, was always close. He had become more than a pet. He was Leo's guardian, a gentle teacher, and a friend. One morning, Sam had an idea. He wanted to see what Benny did when no one was watching. He set up a small camera in the living room. The camera faced the playmat where Leo spent most of his time. Sam checked the angle carefully. Maya held Leo in her arms to start the recording, then placed him on the mat gently. Benny immediately moved closer to the baby, watching every little movement. Leo reached for a soft ball and tried to crawl toward it. Benny followed closely as always. He watched carefully, noticing every small wobble, every shift in Leo's tiny hands and knees. Leo stretched forward and lost his balance slightly. Benny reacted immediately. He nudged the baby gently with his nose, guiding him back to a safe position. Maya watched quietly from across the room. She smiled as Leo laughed and clapped his hands. Benny stayed calm, his tail wagging slowly. Sam peeked at the camera screen. "Look at this," he whispered. "He is acting like a real protector. He knows exactly what to do." The moment grew even more incredible. Leo crawled toward a small pillow. He tried to climb on it but struggled slightly. Benny carefully moved the pillow closer, adjusting it so Leo could climb safely. Then the dog placed himself near Leo, blocking any chance of falling. The baby laughed and patted Benny's soft fur. Benny responded with a gentle nudge, lowering his head to meet Leo's touch. Sam and Maya could not believe their eyes when they later watched the video. Benny had done everything perfectly. He had protected Leo, guided him, and helped him explore safely. "It was a moment of pure love and care," Maya whispered. "If we did not have this camera, no one would believe what Benny did today." From that day, the camera became a tool to capture more of Benny's incredible behavior. Each day, Leo discovered new toys and new ways to play. Benny was always there, watching carefully and helping when needed. Sometimes he nudged toys toward the baby. Other times, he gently guided Leo away from edges or objects that could hurt him. One afternoon, Maya set up a small obstacle course with soft cushions and pillows for Leo to crawl over. Benny sat nearby, watching. Leo tried to crawl over the first pillow and slipped slightly. Benny reacted immediately. He moved closer, positioning himself to catch the baby if needed. He nudged the pillow slightly to make it stable. Leo giggled, climbing over it successfully with Benny by his side. Sam watched the video later and said, "Benny is teaching him balance without even trying. He is careful, patient, and so loving." Maya smiled. "He is part of Leo's world in a way I never imagined. He is more than a dog. He is a guardian and a friend." The camera also captured smaller moments of connection. Leo would roll onto his back, waving his tiny hands in the air. Benny would lie next to him, his head close, making sure Leo was safe. Sometimes Leo would grab Benny's soft ear or paw. Benny responded gently, lowering his head and wagging his tail. Each moment showed a silent understanding between the baby and the dog. One day, Leo crawled toward the living room door, curious about the sounds outside. Benny noticed immediately. He moved between Leo and the door, his body forming a protective shield. He barked softly to alert Maya, who was folding clothes in another room. Maya rushed over and picked up Leo. "You are amazing, Benny," she said, hugging him. Benny wagged his tail slowly, proud and calm. Even when visitors came, Benny's behavior remained remarkable. Leo's cousin Nina came over one afternoon. She was curious and a little nervous around Benny because he was large. Benny stayed close to Leo, letting Nina watch safely. When Leo tried to crawl toward her, Benny moved to guide him gently. Nina smiled, realizing how careful and loving Benny was. "He is incredible," she said. Maya nodded. "We know. He is Leo's first friend and protector." As the days went on, Benny's actions became more thoughtful. He seemed to anticipate small dangers before they happened. If Leo reached for a toy too far away, Benny would nudge it closer. If the baby crawled near an edge, Benny would move his body to block him. He stayed calm even when Leo became fussy or tired, providing silent support. One morning, Maya noticed something special. Leo was trying to crawl up a small step in the play area. He struggled slightly and fell onto his side. Benny immediately ran over, nudging him gently and guiding him back onto the mat. Leo laughed and reached out to pat Benny. Maya realized that Benny was not only protecting him, but also encouraging him to explore and learn safely. Sam edited some of the camera videos to show family and friends. Everyone was amazed. "If I did not see this with my own eyes, I would never believe it," one friend said. "He is more than a dog. He is a teacher and a protector." Maya and Sam smiled. They had known it, but seeing it on video made the bond even clearer. The bond between Leo and Benny grew stronger with every day. Leo learned to reach for toys, crawl over pillows, and even try to stand while Benny stayed close. Benny's calm presence gave the baby confidence. Every laugh, every small achievement, every step of learning was shared with the dog nearby. Even at night, Benny remained alert. He lay at the foot of Leo's crib, watching carefully. Maya and Sam peeked through the door, smiling at the peaceful scene. Leo slept calmly, trusting the presence of his guardian. Benny had proven that love, patience, and care could guide a baby safely through the early days of life. Maya whispered to Sam, "Look at him. He is more than a pet. He is part of our family, and he loves Leo in his own way. Sam nodded. Yes, he has become a friend, a guardian, and a teacher. Leo is lucky to have him. That evening, Maya and Sam sat together, reviewing the day's camera videos. Each clip showed Benny guiding, protecting, and comforting Leo. Sometimes he nudged a toy. Sometimes he helped Leo climb over a small pillow. Other times he simply lay near the baby, providing silent support. Every action showed intelligence, patience, and love. Maya realized that Benny's presence had changed their home in the best way possible. The house was not just full of laughter and baby toys. It was full of trust, safety, and gentle guidance. Benny had become the silent hero of Leo's early days, making sure every moment was safe and joyful. As the night came, Leo slept peacefully. Benny lay beside the crib, his eyes open but calm. Maya and Sam whispered quietly, careful not to disturb the calm scene. The bond between baby and dog had grown stronger than ever. Benny had proven that love, care, and protection did not need words, and in that quiet house it was clear that something extraordinary had happened. Benny was no longer just a pet. He had become Leo's guardian, his teacher, and his first best friend. Every day he would continue to watch, guide, and protect, helping Leo grow safely and happily. The camera had captured a moment of magic, showing the world how a dog's love could protect and guide a tiny human, and Maya and Sam knew without a doubt that Benny would always be there for Leo every step of the way. Life in Maya and Sam's home had become a gentle rhythm of laughter, learning, and love. Little Leo was growing faster every day. He could crawl across the living room, reach for his toys, and even try to pull himself up to stand. And through every step, Benny, the large brown and white dog, remained near, watching, guiding, and protecting him. Benny had become more than just a family pet. He was Leo's guardian, his teacher, and his first best friend. Every day he showed patience, intelligence, and love. He had become a part of the baby's life in a way that no human could replace. One morning, Maya decided to organize the living room for playtime. She spread out soft mats and pillows, arranging toys in colorful clusters. Leo crawled eagerly onto the mat, reaching for his favorite stuffed rabbit. Benny followed closely, his eyes alert. As Leo crawled toward a small pillow, he lost his balance slightly. Benny moved immediately, nudging the pillow to stabilize it and gently placing his body near the baby. Leo giggled, clapping his hands, and patted Benny's head. Maya smiled as she watched. "He is amazing," she whispered to Sam. Sam nodded. Benny has become Leo's little teacher. He helps him explore safely, and he does it with so much love. That afternoon, Maya and Sam noticed something extraordinary. Leo had learned to climb over a small cushion by himself. Benny stayed close but let the baby do it on his own. When Leo wobbled slightly, Benny nudged him gently to help him keep balance. It was clear that Benny knew when to step in and when to let the baby try by himself. Neighbors came to visit that day. Tara, who had seen Leo and Benny before, watched in amazement. "I have never seen such a bond between a dog and a baby," she said. Maya smiled. "We know. Benny is part of Leo's life in a way that no one else could ever be." As the weeks passed, Leo's confidence grew. He learned to crawl faster, grab toys, and reach for objects on shelves. Benny was always close, ready to step in if needed. He nudged toys toward Leo, blocked edges that could be dangerous, and provided comfort during fussy moments. One afternoon, Leo tried to crawl toward the back door. The door led to the garden, where the grass was soft and green. Benny noticed immediately. He ran between Leo and the door, his body forming a protective shield. Maya came quickly and picked up Leo. "Thank you, Benny," she said, hugging him tightly. Benny wagged his tail slowly, calm and proud. Sam set up the camera again to capture their interactions. The videos showed Benny acting like a guardian and a guide. He nudged toys back to Leo, helped him climb over pillows, and stayed close whenever the baby tried new movements. Every action showed care, intelligence, and love. Leo laughed and babbled, reaching out to pat Benny's head. Benny responded with gentle nudges and soft tail wags. It was clear that the baby trusted the dog completely. Every day, Benny helped Leo learn and grow in ways that were both safe and joyful. Even at night, Benny remained alert. He lay at the foot of Leo's crib, watching him sleep peacefully. Maya and Sam often peeked through the door, smiling at the sight of the baby and the dog. Leo slept calmly, trusting the presence of his guardian. Benny had become a silent hero in the baby's life, ensuring safety and comfort at all times. One morning, Maya decided to teach Leo a new game. She placed a small toy across the playmat and encouraged him to crawl toward it. Benny sat nearby, watching carefully. As Leo moved, he wobbled slightly and nearly tipped over. Benny reacted immediately, nudging him gently and guiding him toward the toy. Leo clapped his hands and laughed. Maya and Sam cheered. "He is incredible," Maya said. "Benny has taught him so much without even trying." The bond between Leo and Benny grew stronger each day. Leo learned to crawl faster, explore new areas, and even try to stand with support. Benny was always there, ready to protect and guide him. When visitors came, Benny stayed close to Leo, ensuring that the baby was safe while letting others watch and interact. One afternoon, Leo's cousin Nina came to play. She watched Benny carefully. Benny stayed near Leo, letting Nina play from a safe distance. Leo reached out to her and Benny nudged him gently to make sure he stayed safe. Nina smiled. "He is amazing. I have never seen a dog act like this before." Maya nodded. "Yes, Benny is part of our family in a very special way." The camera captured more magical moments. Leo tried to crawl over a small stack of soft pillows. Benny stayed close, nudging the pillows to make them stable and gently guiding Leo. When Leo reached the top, he laughed and clapped. Looking at Benny, the dog wagged his tail, calm and happy, as if he shared in the baby's joy. Maya and Sam often reflected on Benny's role in their lives. He was patient, gentle, and intelligent. He had become more than a dog. He was a guardian, a teacher, and a friend. Every action he took was full of love and care. Leo's early days were safer, happier, and more joyful because of him. As Leo grew, so did his trust in Benny. He learned that Benny was always nearby to help and protect. If he fell or tipped over, Benny was there to catch him. If he needed a toy or wanted to reach something, Benny helped guide him. Every day was a new adventure, and Benny was always part of it. One evening, Maya and Sam sat together, watching Leo play with Benny. Leo crawled around the mat, reaching for his toys, laughing and exploring. Benny followed, alert and gentle, nudging objects, blocking edges, and guiding the baby. Maya whispered to Sam, "He is part of Leo's world in a way I never imagined. He is more than a pet. He is a guardian, a teacher, and a friend." Sam nodded. "Yes, Leo will grow up knowing he is never alone." At night, Leo slept peacefully in his crib. Benny lay beside the crib, his head resting on the soft carpet. He watched over the baby quietly, alert but calm. Maya and Sam peeked through the door, smiling at the beautiful scene. It was a simple moment, yet it held so much love, trust, and connection. The days turned into weeks and the weeks into months. Leo's skills grew and Benny continued to guide him. He stayed close when the baby learned to crawl, walk, and reach for new objects. Every small success was shared with Benny nearby, reinforcing trust and safety. One afternoon, Sam reviewed the camera videos. Each clip showed Benny acting with intelligence, patience, and love. He nudged toys, guided Leo over obstacles, and stayed calm when the baby became fussy. It was a remarkable display of a dog's love and care. Maya whispered softly, "If people saw this, they would not believe it. Benny has done so much for Leo without anyone asking him to." Sam nodded. "He is extraordinary. He has become a part of Leo's life in a way that no one else could." The bond between baby and dog was clear to everyone in the household. Leo laughed, clapped, and reached for Benny, who responded with gentle nudges and soft tail wags. The baby trusted the dog completely, and the dog loved the baby with patience and care. From that day on, Benny and Leo became inseparable. They played, explored, and learned together. Benny guided the baby through small dangers, taught him new ways to play safely, and comforted him when he was upset. Maya and Sam often watched quietly, feeling grateful for the love that filled their home. The house was full of laughter, warmth, and gentle sounds. Benny had become a silent guardian, ensuring Leo's early days were safe and joyful. Maya and Sam often whispered to each other, "Leo has a true friend for life. Benny is more than a dog. He is part of our family and he will always be there for him." And in the quiet of the night, as Leo slept peacefully, Benny lay beside him, alert and calm. The bond they shared was extraordinary. Benny had proven that love, care, and protection could be quiet, gentle, and yet powerful. He had become Leo's guardian, teacher, and first best friend. Every day brought new adventures, laughter, and discoveries. And through it all, Benny remained close, ensuring that Leo was safe, happy, and loved. The camera may have captured special moments, but the true magic was in the daily life of the baby and the dog, growing together, learning together, and building a bond that would last a lifetime.